Hi everybody, Margie Norte with Designs by Marge. So today we're going to put together, as promised, the holder for the cute little tags of the snowman and the reindeer. So we'll get started with that right away, and I will pause while I fix the camera. Okay, so now that the camera's fixed, I want to make sure that you can see what we're going to be doing. It's really easy to make. You're going to use a shimmery white sheet, and this is 5.5 by 8.5. A scrap piece of cherry cobbler, and you're going to be making this using wood words, and the only thing that we're going to use out of wood words is this neat little crate that we will be using with the Big Shot. And in addition to that, we're going to be using layering ovals, and this is what they look like, by the way, and we will actually be using the 2.5 by 1.5 inch size. The last item that we'll be using in order to make our Santa Claus will be the cookie cutter punch. So let's go ahead and get started with that. The place that we start is with the cutting out our crate. The crate, and I'm just going to show you here, you need 2 cuts on this, so you're going to need one here, and then you're going to flip it around and do another one here. So hold while I make the cuts. So I realized that with the shimmery white paper it might be difficult for you to see, so I took that away and just using the black background. So you just remove all of the pieces that you have in here that don't belong. Of course, those are discarded, and we're done with this. Okay, so, and we're done with this. So in folding your crate, you want to just do all the folds and burnish them. And you fold your tabs in like so. So it's all going in the same direction. And do the same with this one. Fold your little tabs in the same direction. So the other little piece that you're going to need in doing this is the tear and tape. So take just a minute and put this together so that you can see how it goes. And you'll see that when you close this off, you want the tabs on the inside, right? And that would be on both sides. So you want to make sure that you put your tear and tape on the side that's folded in. Okay? So here we go with this. I don't like to rip my tear and tape. I like to cut it. So I know a lot of people do like to rip it, but not me. I always make a mess of it when I try to rip it. Always rips in the wrong place. And then you also want to put your tear and tape on this piece in the same place so that it's on that fold. So in order to make sure that your tear and tape is going to stick whenever you pull that strip off of it, you want to burnish it so that you can be sure that it's all in place. Okay, and then you can take your piercing tool, that's what I use anyway, and just lift that off of there. Comes off really easy. Off of all four of them this is how I do it. You may feel more secure only doing one side at a time. It's totally up to you how you decide to advance it. Okay, so now we're going to fit it together, and remember, we want to make sure that we've got our little tabs on the inside so that when we place it down, it's squared. And just, you know, rub it a little bit, make sure it's secure. And then we have this little bottom piece here that's kind of hanging, and squeeze just a little bit in here, and then from the inside hold it down so that the glue stays. And that's your crate. So it makes just a cute little crate to hold your holders in. So now we're going to make our oval from the cherry cobbler using the 2.5 by 1.5 inch oval scalloped framelit. So hold on while I do that. So here's our oval, and we're just going to set that aside for a while. So we're going to take a small scrap of Whisper White, and be sure and use your piercing mat so that you've got a little bit of cushion. And then we're going to pull the Santa Claus from the cookie cutter Christmas that we used. It's this one. And we are going to take the Santa from that. You can tell I use them a lot. And we're going to use a size D block. Place that on there. And remember, when you're using your blender pens, you want to use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Okay, so we'll get this all inked up. Remember, you got to rub and then pat. Make sure we've got it covered. And then let that transfer. Okay. We'll cover that up. Move it out of the way. And then we're going to use 4 blender pens is all you're going to need with this one. Well, actually 5, because you're going to want to use your bronze for his belt buckle. So the light and dark smoky slate and the light and dark cherry cobbler and the bronze, which I will now get out. Okay, so let's do his suit first. And remember from the lesson yesterday is that when you're using the blender pens, they're alcohol based, so it's a very light touch, but you also want to make sure that you use the light color first. And see how easy that went on? And color the red parts. Then you just barely have to touch it to do any good. Doesn't matter if you make lines or circles, or it really doesn't matter what you do. It's going to cover it. What we want to do is to take the cookie cutter, Christmas cookie cutter, and you, obviously I've got him at the wrong angle. You line him up and cut him out. Okay, and that's our little Santa Claus. So now what I want to do is I want to add some Wink of Stella, and what I'm going to do with that is add it to the white part. So I want some on his hat and his beard. And his cuffs, front of his shirt. And his cuffs down there. Okay, so then we're done with that. So now what we want to do, you take a look at your box, and you're going to line that up and see where he fits in the circle, because you don't want the box, you don't want the oval to be below the box line, but you want him to be at the box line. So you see, that's the way he's going to fit. So now we want to do is to get some dimensionals. And put a couple in here. We need a couple for his legs. You obviously don't want them to show, so you have to be careful. And I think maybe one there. That should be plenty. I'm going to take that off. And stick him together. Okay. Now, we also don't want to have glue sticking to your tags, right? So what we're going to do about that is we're going to add just a little bit of this glue in the center. Let's see, it's just a drop on each one of those panels. We're going to line up Mr. Santa here and put him right in the center. And you need to hold him for a second until the glue has a chance to take hold. And there's your Santa box. So I hope you enjoyed the project. We're going to be working on another Christmas project this week that will be posted as soon as I can get another opportunity to come back online. So please be sure to subscribe and to like the video if you do. And also give me some comments about things that you'd like to see, maybe some projects you'd like to do. I'm considering doing a Christmas gift box for the next video, and so that should be a lot of fun. Okay, everybody take care, and we'll talk soon.